Hello, Saints. We're looking in Romans, and we're there around verse 19 of chapter 1. We talked a little bit about the introduction and the gospel. But here he is setting up the parameters of who he is speaking to. He's laying out who his audience is. Some people might say, well, that's for you, not me. The Jews. Oh, no, that's for the Jews, not the Gentiles, or vice versa. He wants to make it clear that this gospel message he's preparing to give is for both Jew and Gentile. And he starts right out in verse 19 in chapter 1, because that which is known about God is evident within them, for God made it evident to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood through what has been made, so that they are without excuse. For even though they knew God, they did not honor him as God, nor give thanks, but they became futile in their speculations, and in their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the incorruptible God for an image in the form of corruptible man, and of the birds, four-footed animals, and crawling creatures. Therefore God gave them over in their lust of their hearts to impurity, that their bodies might be dishonored among them. For they exchanged the truth of God for a lie, worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forevermore. Amen. And for this reason God gave them over to degrading passion, for their women to exchange the natural function for that which is unnatural. In the same way also the men abandoned the natural function of the woman and burned in their desire toward one another, men with men, committing indecent acts and receiving their own persons the due penalty of their error. And just as they did not see it to acknowledge God any longer, God gave them over to depraved minds to do those things which are not proper, being filled with all unrighteousness, wickedness, greed, and evil, full of envy, murder, strife, and deceit, malice, and they are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, arrogant, and boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, without understanding, untrusting, unloving, unmerciful. And although they knew the ordinance of God, that those who practice such things are worthy of death, they do not only do the same, but also give hearty approval to those who practice them. Here he has that God is revealed in the natural world, that there is the evidence for them to follow, and that they would soon follow their own path. In fact, it says that they not only will want to follow their own path, but they give approval to those who practice them with them. So God is not partial, and they are showing themselves to be in need of God's salvation, even though they aren't Jews, even though they aren't familiar with the oracles of God. The very world, the very nature condemns them. And so they need to hear saving truth. So even if they've never heard of God before, they still need salvation. We're going to take a look at the other side next time.